The Ministry of Magic wishes to make an announcement.
Dolores Umbridge, as High Inquisitor, will address the falling standards at Hogwarts.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix marks a dramatic turning point in the saga, shifting from the wonder of adolescence to the suffocating tension of political denial and psychological warfare. By the time we reunite with Harry Potter, the tone has darkened considerably. The innocence that once colored his early years at Hogwarts has been replaced by anxiety, isolation, and a growing sense that the adult world is failing him. After witnessing the return of Voldemort, Harry expects urgency and unity from the wizarding authorities. Instead, he finds denial, propaganda, and a deliberate attempt to undermine his credibility. The film opens not in a bustling magical setting, but in the oppressive quiet of Little Winging, grounding us in Harry's loneliness. A sudden Dementor attack shatters that stillness, forcing him to perform magic in front of his cousin to survive. This act, though defensive, triggers an immediate disciplinary response from the wizarding establishment. From the outset, the story frames the central conflict not simply as good versus evil, but truth versus institutional self-preservation. The Ministry refuses to acknowledge Voldemort's return, fearing public panic and the destabilization of its authority. That fear manifests as aggression toward the one person who speaks openly about what happened. When Harry returns to Hogwarts, the atmosphere has palpably changed. The corridors feel colder, the student body divided by rumor and doubt. The Ministry's interference materializes in the form of Dolores Umbridge, appointed as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts professor. Her outwardly sweet demeanor, clad in pink and speaking in syrupy tones, conceals a rigid authoritarianism. She represents bureaucratic tyranny disguised as civility. Her refusal to teach practical defensive magic is not incompetence, but policy. The Ministry does not want students prepared for a threat it publicly denies exists. Umbridge's presence transforms Hogwarts from a sanctuary into a monitored institution. Educational decrees appear one after another, stripping authority from teachers and concentrating power in her hands. The film uses her regime to explore themes of censorship and state control. Posters demanding compliance line the walls. Students are encouraged to inform on one another. Fear becomes ambient, not explosive, but constant. It is a quieter menace than Voldemort's, but in some ways more insidious because it operates within the system. Harry's frustration deepens as even his classmates begin to question his account of events. Only a tight circle remains unwavering: Hermione Granger, analytical and fiercely loyal; Ron Weasley, steadfast though often uncertain; and a handful of others who sense the truth beneath the Ministry's narrative. Hermione, recognizing that passivity is dangerous, proposes a radical solution. If Umbridge will not teach them to defend themselves, they will do it alone. From this decision emerges Dumbledore's Army, a clandestine group dedicated to learning real defensive spells under Harry's guidance. These training sequences are among the film's most uplifting moments. In the hidden room of requirement, students practice Patronuses, shield charms, and disarming spells. We watch as individuals previously marginalized begin to find confidence. Neville Longbottom, once timid and unsure, grows steadily more competent. Ginny Weasley shows precision and boldness. Luna Lovelock brings an offbeat wisdom that proves unexpectedly grounding. These scenes do more than depict spellcasting, they illustrate empowerment through solidarity. Against the suffocating structure imposed by Umbridge, the students reclaim agency. Parallel to the reformation of Order of the Phoenix, a covert alliance of witches and wizards who recognize the gravity of Voldemort's return, Led by Albus Dumbledore, the Order operates from the shadows, gathering intelligence and preparing for inevitable confrontation. For Harry, this organization is both reassuring and frustrating. It confirms that adults are taking action, yet he remains largely excluded from their deliberations. Dumbledore, distant and reserved, keeps him at arm's length, hoping to protect him. That emotional distance, however, only deepens Harry's sense of abandonment. A crucial layer of the story involves Harry's psychic connection to Voldemort. Through disturbing visions, he witnesses glimpses of the Dark Lord's thoughts and actions. These sequences are stylized with stark imagery: shattered glass, serpentine movements, echoing corridors, reflecting the invasive nature of the connection. Dumbledore assigns Severus Snape to teach Harry occlumency, the art of shielding one's mind. The lessons are tense and adversarial. Snape's coldness clashes with Harry's defensiveness, and the training ultimately falters. In a moment of retaliatory curiosity, Harry invades Snape's memories, uncovering scenes of his father's cruelty during their school days. This revelation destabilizes Harry's idealized view of his parents and complicates his understanding of legacy and morality. Meanwhile, Umbridge's control escalates. She establishes the Inquisitorial Squad, empowers students loyal to authority, and eventually seizes the role of High Inquisitor, granting herself near total dominance over school affairs. Her punishments are not merely detentions, but psychological assaults. The infamous quill that carves words into Harry's skin epitomizes her cruelty, pain inflicted under the guise of discipline. Through her, the film critiques the banality of evil, the idea that oppression can wear a polite smile. The emotional core of the film intensifies when Harry experiences a vision of his godfather, Sirius Black, in danger within the Department of Mysteries. Convinced of its authenticity and distrustful of adult intervention, Harry leads a group of his friends to the Ministry. This decision marks a critical maturation point. It is impulsive, yet born of loyalty and fear. The journey itself underscores the transition from adolescence to active participation in the broader conflict. Inside the Department of Mysteries, the architecture is surreal and foreboding. Spinning doors, echoing chambers, and towering shelves of glass orbs create an atmosphere of cosmic significance. The orbs contain prophecies, including one concerning Harry and Voldemort. The confrontation that follows is chaotic and explosive. Members of the Death Eaters ambush the students, revealing that the vision was a trap designed to lure Harry into retrieving the prophecy. The battle that ensues is one of the saga's most visually dynamic sequences. Spells collide in flashes of light and smoke. Students who once practiced in secret now apply their skills under mortal threat. Neville's determination, Luna's composure, Ginny's bravery all converge in a desperate struggle. Reinforcements from the Order arrive, including Sirius, transforming the skirmish into a full-scale duel between opposing forces. Tragedy strikes when Sirius is killed by Bellatrix Lestrange. His fall through the veil is abrupt and devastating. For Harry, it is a shattering loss, the death of the closest thing he has to family. The scene lingers, not on spectacle, but on grief. The sound drops away as Harry screams, underscoring the emotional rupture. It is the cost of war made painfully personal. The climactic duel between Dumbledore and Voldemort in the Ministry's atrium is a masterclass in cinematic wizardry. Fire and water clash, statues animate, and glass shatters. Dumbledore's calm precision contrasts with Voldemort's raw fury. Their battle is less about physical domination and more about ideological opposition, measured wisdom versus obsessive control. In a final, desperate move, Voldemort attempts to possess Harry, exploiting their psychic link. Yet it is Harry's capacity for love and grief, his memories of friendship and loss, that expel him. The film asserts that emotional vulnerability, often perceived as weakness, is in fact a profound source of strength. The ministry officials, including Cornelius Fudge, witness Voldemort's presence firsthand. Denial can no longer be sustained. The political facade collapses in an instant. Fudge's expression shifts from indignation to horror, encapsulating the moment when institutional blindness gives way to undeniable truth. The return of Voldemort is no longer rumor, but reality. In the aftermath, Dumbledore finally reveals the full prophecy to Harry. It speaks of a child born at the end of July with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord, and of a destiny in which neither can live while the other survives. This revelation reframes the entire conflict. Harry is not merely a participant in events, but central to their resolution. The weight of that knowledge is immense. Yet, rather than isolating him further, it clarifies his purpose. What makes this installment particularly resonant is its exploration of adolescence under pressure. Harry's anger throughout the film is not petulance, but trauma. He has witnessed death, been disbelieved, and carried secrets too heavy for his age. His outbursts reflect cumulative strain. The film does not sanitize this. It allows him to be flawed, reactive, and sometimes unfair. In doing so, it humanizes him. Visually, the film adopts a muted palette, emphasizing blues and grays that mirror the narrative's gravity. The grandeur of Hogwarts remains, but it is overshadowed by surveillance and constraint. Even the magical elements feel sharper, more severe. The cinematography often frames characters in isolation, reinforcing themes of alienation. At its core, the story interrogates power structures. The ministry's refusal to confront reality illustrates how fear can corrupt governance. Umbridge's regime demonstrates how easily rights can erode under the pretext of order. In contrast, Dumbledore's army embodies grassroots resistance, collective learning, and moral courage. The juxtaposition invites reflection on authority and accountability. By the film's conclusion, the wizarding world stands on the brink of open war. The truth is acknowledged, but acknowledgement does not erase danger. For Harry and his friends, childhood has effectively ended. They have faced loss, betrayal, and systemic opposition, yet they have also forged resilience. Harry Potter and the Order of the Fifth ultimately serves as the saga's political awakening. It shifts the narrative from personal rivalry to societal conflict. It deepens character relationships while expanding the stakes. Most importantly, it underscores a timeless message that truth, though often suppressed, cannot be extinguished indefinitely. When institutions fail, individuals must choose whether to comply or resist. Harry chooses resistance, not out of heroism for its own sake, but out of loyalty, love, and an unyielding commitment to reality. In that choice lies the enduring power of the story.